All right, let's edit some comics. Going to open up the comic editor here. Select the event that we're working on. I've already set up the choice structure of this event, which you can see in the article. But now we're going to start in on the panels, which is the fun part. So I'm going to kind of move fast, and I'll try to explain as I go. I use this compose button here, CMP. This lets you pick a lot of different things about the panel. I'm going to start with a third. I'll put bookish in there. I'll pick a background. I want to start off with 3 panels of like sunset coming on to show that it's getting darker. Maybe I'll go here. We've got bookish in there. The weapons are put away. Let's start. Well, we can tint stuff, but I think for now we'll just make some quick panels. And then I'm going to duplicate this panel. Oh no, wait, first I should put in a book. I want to have bookish basically reading a book to themselves while volunteer sets up camp, and then friend is going to come along with their book and talk about it. So the book, we'll just look. You can generally kind of search for, there's a couple books here. I'm going to pick the fancier one for bookish to be holding. This little up arrow will sort it above. Make it smaller, kind of put it down here. Move her head, make her skeptical, dubious. I just want grim. Most people, that's too sad, but it'll have to do. All right, so now I've got bookish, reading a book. Let's see. It looks yeah, all right. That's about right. Might rotate the book a little bit. Kind of thing. Getting this to feel exactly right takes a lot of, especially with a book. It's going to be a little bit tricky and you have to try a lot of things. But this is good enough for our first panel. We're going to duplicate the panel. Just press the dupe button here, and that'll make a copy and let you kind of keep the basic stuff. Before I duplicate it, I'm going to get rid of that text because I don't need it. I'm going to turn off, no, that's fine. All right, so I'm going to duplicate the panel. All the panels are listed over here on the left side in order, and then they're separated by these blocks. So this is like if you click here, you'll notice it highlights over here, and vice versa. If you click here, it highlights over here. So that sort of lets you know where you are. So the way that it's set up in here is first the prompt is up here, and then the choices are laid out, and then the outcomes that the choices lead to are laid out. And this was all set up in the structure a little bit earlier. So duplicate this panel. We'll turn off name tags because we don't need to repeat them again and again. We'll scale everything down just a little bit. Because I want to kind of show some of the other stuff that's going on. We'll change her expression. Interested is always a good one. We're also going to change the background, which you can do back in the compose, or you can do it here with BG. You can search for, oh my gosh. Scroll down, see what we find. Evening. And then one more dupe. We'll find evening 2. classic. And then I think I'm also going to add friend. Yeah, let's add friend. Friend will be kind of off in the background, maybe looking curiously at interested, skeptical. Yeah. So friend is going to see that Bookish is reading a book, and they're going to make a plan. The next thing I want to do is establish Volunteer, who is sort of the third role in this script. They are setting a fire, and we want to do some splits based on Volunteer's theme, if they have a theme. So if they have firearm or fire chicken or something like that, we want to acknowledge that and call that out. So we'll do a full panel. We'll put in all three of our roles. Go a bit smaller. We will leave it Twilight. We will not show name tags. Weapons inactive is fine. Let's start to put some color in here. So it kind of makes it look like nighttime, which is nice. Okay, so we've got Bookish, we've got Friend over here. And we'll have Friend prompt Volunteer. So it's time for a fire. Or maybe like, I've got the tents. And then Volunteer. We'll say, yep. If we wanted to, we could put some more personality variation here, but I don't know if it's that important. Kind of pull these pointers around. Messing with text pointers is, well, you can spend as much time on it as you want to, but I'm going to try to go pretty fast. Oh yeah, we also need to pull the book in, which I think I can just do by copying this actor, coming over here, do paste, boop, so that gives me the book. Kind of bring it over here. We'll just have Bookish is still just reading in the corner. Back to Grimm. While the other two set up camp. And then we're going to have our gag panel next. Our gag panel, we want to basically show a different scenario based on who Volunteer is. So Volunteer in the targeting we set up, let's just go find that, click on it. We set it up so that they could have, we would prefer somebody who has wolf, tree, vine, fire, or pet fire chicken. And after that, we want them to be as snarky as possible. So what we'll do is we'll set up a panel split so that we actually get different comic panels based on that. So I'm going to hit add split. So that gives me this dialogue here, and I will say dot theme wolf, theme tree, theme vine, theme fire, theme underscore pet fire chicken. Yes, so now we have, so this should, when I press create, it'll create basically little buckets for me to put all of these panels into. Splits are colored blue so that you can tell that they're different. And you can see right now they're all empty. So let's add a panel for how Wolf will go about making a fire. Just kind of break this out to break up the flow a little bit. We'll put volunteer in the middle. You click in there to make it show too. So this will be somebody with a wolf head. They, we're going to say it smells bad to them. So add, I hate the smell of smoke. Let's change this into a thought bubble too, I think. Oh gosh. There we go. Ever since I got this nose, let's just make it more explicit. Ever since I got this nose. And again, if we wanted to put more personality variation into this, we could, but I'm going to go pretty fast here. Let's add a panel for, oh yeah, let's add an image. Let's put a little fire in here. Oh, now let's look for scenery. Campfire embers, campfire off. Okay, we're going to tilt their whole body because, yeah. Oh gosh, maybe that won't work so well. Well, anyway, we're good. Well, this will be fine. I'm going to keep it simple, like I said. But you can mess with this stuff all day long, and Douglas does. Next, volunteers tree theme. We'll add a panel for that. So this is if volunteer got the Splinter event, and they now have an Elm soul inside them, and maybe like kind of sympathize with the trees a little bit. So all right, oh yeah, here's wolf, here's tree. We'll make them sad, maybe. I'm just, we'll put in, copy that campfire. Paste that in here. Boop. Let's say feels to be burning. And then I think in this one we'll have volunteer actually saying this to friend. Range, face left, speaking. And then we'll add one more panel to kind of tie that little bit up. Volunteer friend. Range alternate. Okay. Graham, and we'll have volunteer put on a brave face. Maybe just a grim face. Which we can also do over here. Volunteer, frame, grim. And we'll put some fire in between them so they can be looking at it. Add animation. Fire. Can actually, we'll make it a pretty small fire. And we'll make it idle by saying form idle. So now you see a little bit of movement in the fire there. All right. I may have been a little bit ambitious. We'll get through it. So we could use basically the same story for vine theme as tree theme. I think they're compatible enough. Which, if we were to do that, let's see, we would say copy. Volunteers vine theme paste. Instead of saying ever since that splinter, I would say ever since that encounter with so you get vine theme from the Strider. Since Strider. And then we'll copy the other two panels. Copy, come down here, paste, volunteer is theme fire. This is going to be a pretty different scene. Here we'll just have volunteer. With fire theme, you always get the left arm first, which is gives you a pretty strong fire attack. So we'll just have him saying, stand back. I'll put in an image of the campfire. And then we'll duplicate this scene, and we'll put in a bunch of fire somehow. Let me see how I want to do that. Campfire, asset spec, fire. Let me see. How are we going to do a bunch of fire? I don't think we have like a fireball or anything in here. We might have to figure that out. Maybe there's a particle for it? Oh dear. Okay, these are all items. Oh gosh. Oh, sorry, we already have flame 2. Let's get this flame 1. Flame 1, flame 2. Flame 3. Flame 4. So we'll just kind of mess these around. Maybe it's a little bit big. Bring them forward. Yeah, all right. So here we got like a creditable fire attack going on. I don't need to be saying stand back here. Oops, we can just delete the text and it'll go away. We'll give them a nice like scheming face. Give them a nice loud face. Yeah, there we go. Stand back. Rawr. Cool. Lighting the fire. If they have pet fire chicken, let's add a panel for that. So that'll be volunteer still. Whoa. All right, I'll do the tendency of the fire. Fire. They have a fire chicken, so they're gonna do. Let's do it like this. Okay, Sparky, do your thing. show them. Boop. So text boxes can be anchored to different places. That's pretty... So I just anchored this one to the upper right corner, and that kind of helps it flow better. So he's going to be talking to the chicken. He's going to be smiling. Or talking. Talking is a good thing to use. It's just generally expressive. And then we'll add a panel for the chicken. Just like have the chicken in there and nothing else. And then we'll show the lit fire and just leave the rest of the imagination. Chicken, no, let's try figures. Sometimes you have to kind of poke around to find what you're looking for. Fire chicken. Is there really no asset for this? No, I guess not. Well, I guess that's not a big deal. Oh yeah, here we go. That's my guy. Tilt it up a little bit. We'll put the campfire down there. Scenery, fire. Kind of put that in the background, like right off here. And then one more panel there. That just has a lovely fire going. Animation, fire. Oak. And then, you know what I'll do is I'll add well, anyway, I guess I'm going to leave this like this for now. You could make it more sophisticated, and maybe I'll come back later and do that. I'll just turn the animation on. All right, and then so that was all the different theme options we have. And then we need one more for the fallback in case Volunteer does not have any of those themes, which will make it pretty simple. We want to get across that there might do some personality variation here, but I don't think we really need it, so I'll just keep it simple. Let's see, make it 2/3, make it a little smaller, pull in the image. I'll just have them saying like maybe thinking it because it's a little bit. All right, cool. So that's our little gag. So now, yeah, when you get this event, you should get an appropriate split depending on what theme Volunteer has. So that should be fun. A little extra something something if you have Fire Chicken or Fire Theme or one of the other ones. Okay, on with the story. So the next part of the story is that friend has seen that Bookish is reading a book and is going to show up with a book of their own, which we'll set up basically by duplicating this panel. And then moving it down, which should move it below the split. Right, so here we have a duplicate of that panel from before. So we have Bookish is still reading. We'll get kind of get Volunteer out of the way here, pretend they're kind of working on the fire over by the side. And we'll have, I'm going to get rid of this text box. Get rid of both of these text boxes for now, and we can put them back later. And we'll show them, and we're going to put a book in their hands too. So you're working on the fire. We're going to add an animation of the fire over on the right side. And we'll make it move. Frame idle. We are going to give friend a book in their hand. So the way we're going to do that is with the equipment override. So I find the actor that I want to modify, friend. I open up the object. I'll go to the equipment object, and I'm going to equip items by ID. So then you click on that, and it should give you a big list of all the things. I can type in book here and see the various books that we have. I think book rough is probably what we'll do, because I think that's a good, we only have one other book that could be open. So we'll have friend sort of conspicuously holding this other book, and we'll have Bookish looking up for a sec and kind of catching that. And then we'll move on. I think I wrote a rough script earlier, so I'm going to go find that and look at what I wanted to say. Which is that I wanted to say, Bookish, oh, what are you reading? Which I might as well say right here. Oh, I'll use their name, friend. What are you reading? And then friend is going to reply. I'm trying to figure out what I want that panel to look like. I think I'll just make it like a 2/3 panel that takes up the whole row, and I'll just have friend by themselves, just talking. I'll make them pretty enthusiastic. Happy or talk? I think talk will probably be good. And they're going to say, oh, it's that new book by NPC2. Dot full name. Really? Flip is a terrible name for an author. Okay. Friend is going to be just a little too enthusiastic about this novel. I really love it. About young going to do a gender tag based on friend's gender. So friend, male, female, it's about a young man, woman, young man or boy? Should we do boy, girl, or man? Let's make it boy, girl, young man. Yeah, because I want there to be romance involved. So it'll be young man, young woman, person who, sorry, I'm finding my text here, finds out they're really friend, male, female, a prince, a princess, a noble. We don't have nobility in the Wandering Lands, but I think it's something that they would totally have in their fiction. So that's what it's doing here. They find out they're really a prince, and who finds out, well, instead of there, he's friend, female, she's, they're really a prince, a noble. Turns out he's really a prince and has to choose between, just going to copy this tag, his, her, their, family and their new kingdom. Family and between his family and his new kingdom. Kingdom, queendom, kingdom, country. Yeah, let's do another split there. And his new kingdom, kingdom, queendom, country. So there are dragons. What are you reading? Okay, cool. Let's do the click through to see how it looks. Oh, it's getting dark. All right, I'll do the tense, you do the fire. Yep. Fire duty is better than tent duty. Oh, Jen, what are you reading? Oh, it's that new book by Ether Silver. I really love it. It's about the young man who finds out he's really a prince, has to choose between his family and a new kingdom. Also, they're dragons. What are you reading? That's a lot of text. I think I'm going to break it up. And we'll put also there are dragons in its own little box. And then we'll put what are you reading in its own little box. Whoa. Whoa. There we go. So yeah, you can kind of mess with text pointers all day long, and sometimes you will. I think this one we might just want to do like this sort of thing. Am I looking all right? Yeah, that's better. It's a little bit more readable, I think. I don't know. I'm not the expert comic panel maker guy. I just get by. Okay. Cool. So they've explained this trashy novel that they're reading, and then a volunteer is going to butt in and kind of diss that book, and then that's going to create a situation for Bookish to choose to back up friend or stick with volunteer, and that'll have a relationship impact. So, oh yeah, Bookish needs to answer the question first. Which we'll do again by just duplicating this panel here. Pulling it down. And then we'll have, we'll have volunteers starting to take an interest in the conversation. We'll make them skeptical or something. Interested, maybe interested for now. And then we'll have friend be interested, which is kind of the most respectful way to listen, maybe. And then volunteer is going to say, or not volunteer, Bookish is going to say, I'm going to paste this in. Oh, this. Oh, this. Well, this is by NPC. Full name. It's History of the Draven. Well, sort of history mixed with speculation and theorizing, but I thought it might be useful. And we want this to be a big block of text. I want it to be a big block of text because it shows that Bookish is kind of long-winded. Uses big fancy words. And we'll give them a skeptical face because they're thinking about how to describe the book that they're really interested in. And that gives, let's go ahead and make this a 2. No. All right, so now we're going to give a panel, just a quick beat panel. We'll make it a 4th for a friend who thought they were going to impress Bookish to instead look sheepish. That's maybe a bit much. I'm not sure if we have a good grimace, so I might just kind of go with interested, head down a bit, and we'll maybe add some like emotion lines. See if we can figure out action lines. See if we can find something that'll like And then we will have volunteer coming up from behind. Volunteer who is a snark, probably a snark, come in and try to like create an argument here. Add panel 2/3. You know, we'll just probably do better by just duplicating this panel again, but making it 2/3 and taking out bookish and their book and the text. We'll have volunteer speaking. Oh, that's in the wrong place, so I'll move it down. There we go. Separate them. Let's have volunteer saying, give them a skeptical face or dubious face. Oh yeah, dubious, even better. And they'll say, NPC2, really? Bookish. What do you think about him? Let's do the last name, because that's how people talk about authors. Oh, it's that new book by Genius Wonder. That's a great name. Wonder, really? Brett, what do you think about him? Could add some personality or theme-dependent splits here, but I think I'll leave it for now. Let's kind of move this over. I'll make them both look a little bit larger. Confirm. A little bit more. There we go. Cool. So now I've got some drama. Oh, I think we can change the size. I made this a 4th, so I can make this 3/4. There we go. Yeah. Fills the whole thing. All right, so that's our prompt completed. So it sets up this situation where friend wants to impress NPC, volunteer shows off their theme, and then volunteer presents a choice, which bookish is then going to respond to. I haven't gotten into any personality splits yet, which are a lot of fun. So I'm gonna pause the video here and maybe pick that up in a little bit.